unfortunately I left the SD card for my GoPro in my computer. So I have to record this on my phone. So we shall see how well this video turns out. Apologies if it is no good. I'm sure it'll be fine though. So brought the Jag in. Well, there you go. Sorry, I've got to get used to using the phone. It is about 6 months overdue for a service. So I thought just oil and filter change, and I'll go through basic service checks that we would do just to keep the car working properly. So I like to use a decent engine, well, fuel injector cleaner. Normally use it every 3 months. I don't know how well the injector cleaners work, but what I do know is that the engine flushes that we put in with oil, that they do work. When I first started working on cars, we'd change the oil without a flush, and you put the new oil in, and you run it for a bit, go for a test drive, come back, the oil's then black again, or not black, but it's obviously dirty. Whereas we did notice when we started using this stuff that the oil coming out of the engine was visibly dirtier, and the oil the new oil goes back in the engine stays cleaner for longer. So I always like to use that. So I'm going to chuck these in now, and then in order for the engine flush to work, we need to run the engine for a little while, about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes should be enough. And I'll put the car up on the ramp and we'll drain the oil. And we'll just leave it running for about 15-20 minutes. Which I might open up the back door. See, I left the door shut so that people wouldn't come in. That probably wasn't the best idea. So while it's running, I'm going to go and get all the parts I need for the service, and I'll get the ramp arms underneath. Right, so time to put the ramp up. Right, so this is the underneath of my car. A little bit of history behind it actually. When I bought it, all of the inner seals up under here had totally gone, totally rotted away. All of this box section here, you can see where it's all been welded in, it's all been made up. All of that was just rotted. This was the scariest part, is this whole section here. Literally the sill, the inner sill, this structural section here right up to there was all totally rotted away, and we've had to make all that up from scratch. That took about must have been a good about a year worth of welding in total, like on and off in between customer jobs. I did get the car cheap, probably should have got it a little bit cheaper. You'll also notice under here that my wheels are brand spanking new. Sorry, I can't get the camera to focus properly. I'll get a better picture of them in a minute. Yeah, I actually had Lepsons do them. Thank you, Lepsons. Appreciate it. Not a bad price either. All four done. Had the wheels for the Golf done at the same time. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll put a at thingy, whatever my address is, down here, and a link in the description. If you saw that, you would have seen the wheels when they came off, and I think you'll agree, they look totally awesome. Anywho, back to the service. So this is the sump. This is all the oil is sitting up under here at the moment. This is my drain plug, so I've got to undo that. And my oil filter is, I believe, up there somewhere. Where's my oil filter? Oh, no, right on the front there. Easy to get to. As you can tell, I haven't serviced this very often. That is really, really black. So I'm not sure the camera's picking it up very well, but yeah. Long overdue. Right, so Always drain the oil while it's hot. It flows a lot better. These bushes I've replaced in a video. I'll put a link here. I have still got my oil leak, it's still there. As you can see, right round, there you go, right around the front of the engine. At some point I might get around to dealing with that, but from experience, if I have an oil leak, if I fix it, it tends to be worse. So any of my cars, I tend to leave the oil leaks unless they're really, really bad, and just put it down to rust prevention. So even my gearbox, it's unusual for me to have a Jag without a gearbox leak. The filter's part of the sump on these, and I changed it. Well, would have been before I had the MOT, so it would have been about 2 years ago. But I do need to do it again because I'm still having some slight issues with the solenoid between first and second gear. So I will be doing that in a future video. So click the subscribe button, then you won't miss out on that. Same on the back then, so just checking all the rubber. You see my discs are absolutely insert beep here. You see the whole chunk taken off there. If I do that, you can see right in the, there we are, right in the middle, the whole chunk taken out. So I do need to change my rear discs. That will explain my vibration under heavy braking. So now that that's slowed to a very steady trickle, I'm gonna see where that. I need to use something to undo that. So we've got an oil filter strap. Just slide that over the filter and then twist that, and then as we tighten it up, that will, as I'll put a ratchet on there, and as I tighten that up, it will should twist the filter around with it. There we go. And once it's started off, I can take the strap back off and then undo it by hand. We undo it slowly, and then there you go, oil will start to come out, and luckily we aimed that perfectly well. Let the oil drain out the filter again. That's still very, very black. There we go. And you've got to be very careful when we take the filter off because it's still going to be full of oil. Oh, there we go. You can see lots of oil coming out of there. Still loads more oil coming out of there. So we'll wait for that to drain and we'll chuck the new filter on. Right, so here's the new filter ready to go on. And one thing I always like to do, some clean engine oil, dip my finger in it. I always like to put a little smear of engine oil, there we are, just round the seal, so that when we come to undo it next year, she comes undone. So I'll just screw it on there. Some filters have a torque setting, especially the ones that have the plastic caps on them. I just do them up hand tight, tight as I can by hand, but hand tight nonetheless. So there we are. Yep, as tight as she's going to go. And we'll just wind that back in there. This is a 16mm sump plug, hex on it. Get out of the way. Sorry for the shaky camera again. So I'm doing it on my phone. My GoPro's got a anti-shake feature. So here we are. Alright, well, all that's left to do now then, drop it back down. I've already done all the fluids under the bonnet. I did all that when the engine was running, so screen wash, checking my brake fluid level, coolant level. Well, I didn't do the coolant level while it was hot, but I haven't long changed the coolant. I think that's about it really under there. Power steering fluid, check the level of that. Yeah, so yeah, drop it down and put some fresh oil in it. So just so you know, the torque setting for the sump plug is 25 Newton meters. So that's all torqued up. Obviously the car's now back down. What I tend to do, because this wiring loom is in the way, I've managed to wedge a funnel in the oil filler cap. And I've got my oil here. As you can imagine, this is going to be a two-handed job. There we are. It's quite hard to see in the camera, but we are just above the max. We're sort of just covering the M, which is fine, being just above. Let's put that back in the dip. There we are. You want it just above, because once we first start the car up, the oil filter's got to fill up with oil, which will drop the level on the dipstick. So, let's start her up. And what I will do now, actually, drop the car down so it's level. And then we'll recheck the engine with the car level. I'll let it sit for about a minute or so. And if you can see, the level is now just on the minimum. So we'll just put a little splash more in, and then we should be good to go. One thing I will say, top tip, I gave up with the funnel idea. I ended up cable tying the wiring loom to this bracket here, just to keep it out of the way, and I was just about, if you're steady enough, you can just about pour it in without making too much of a mess. So, top tip for you Jag owners. So, I think that's it pretty much. The only thing obviously I haven't done, changed the air filter. I have an upgrade ready. Nice intake upgrade. I'm just waiting for some work to be done on it. Again, if you want to watch that, that will be probably hopefully in the next couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks. So hit the subscribe button and you won't miss out on that. Air filter I haven't changed because of that. I'm probably going to upgrade. I've just got a standard one in there. If you want to do it, it's 2 clips and then it just sort of slides off, but you can see it's not very old, the one in there, it's pretty clean. So yeah, that's normally all. The only other thing you might do on a service is the fuel filter. Again, mine's not very old. It is hidden up behind this liner, so it's just a case of jack it up, take this wheel off, and there's a couple of screws, little clips and stuff in there. Pull the liner forwards, and you'll see your fuel filter. So thank you very much for watching, and catch you next time.